Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the game Dragon Ball Super, but that is what I am going to be doing this deck, and hopefully many more in the future on. I really like this game. If you guys have never tried it, I would recommend trying it. And we're going to get started with the first deck tech on this channel for it. So, the leader for this deck is Android 17. In my opinion, this leader is very underrated. This deck is a very aggro-based deck, if you can tell just based on the leader, but 10k power obviously on the front. Its permanent is reduce the energy cost of Android 17 and 18 in your hand by 1, and then awaken when your life is at 6 or less. A lot of people forget that and will just let you awaken, just they'll attack into you with like a Kaba on turn 1, or they'll just attack into you twice with their leader, and they'll let you awaken, forgetting that it awakens at 6 and not 4. And then on the back, it keeps the same permanent, but also then when your life is at 4 or less, your Android 17 and 18 get plus 5,000. So this only gets plus 5,000, so it'll be 15,000 when you're at 4 or less. A lot of people have been wondering about it, if it's 15,000 or 20,000. And then it has the standard when it attacks, draw a card. So that's our leader for this deck. Obviously there will be a lot of Android synergies for it. So to start off, we have 4 Android 17s and 4 Android 18. 3 drops. They're technically 2 drops in this deck. They are self-fodder a lot of the time. They're also, when you are trying to kill someone with the 5 drops, you just attack with like the 17. It's actually even better with the 18. If you don't have that many cards in hand, you just attack with the 5-drop 17, refill your hand, attack with the 18, ditch a card, then combo a card that you like don't need, that you don't want in your hand, like a Majin Buu late game, and then you just untap the 17, attack with it again, so then you basically just cantrip 2 cards in your hand, which is very good. Same thing with 17. A lot of the times you can just pitch a dead card in your hand to make your opponent pitch a card in their hand that might not be dead. So that's our 3-drop androids. Then for our 5-drop androids, we are playing 3 17 and 4 18. So the 17, I only play 3 of it because of the next card you're going to see. For the name of it, we don't want to be flooded with 17s. But this card is very good. It's effectively a 4-drop 20k double striker. With when it attacks, draw cards, and so you have 4 cards in hand, which is very good in the mirror match and cell matchups. When they make you discard your hand, you just go charge, play this guy, attack, draw 2 cards, attack with my leader, draw a card, and you've effectively refilled your hand after that. And then we have 4 of the Android 18. I already said that, but it's another 4-drop 20k double striker. With when it attacks, your opponent discards it, or when it attacks a leader card, your opponent discards a card, which is very good. Both of these are 4 drops, and if I didn't mention it already, these guys turn into 25ks, and these guys turn into 20ks. For 4 mana 25k double striker and a 2 mana 15 or 2 mana 20k double striker single striker is very good. And then for our last Android card, we have 2 of the promo 17s. The reason I only run 2 of this card is, first off, I only own 2. I would only ever run 2 just because it's only good early game, late game. It's worse than this Android 17. Late game, it's just self-fodder or an energy. It's not as good as the other 17 if you have the option of casting one or the other. But it's very good early game. It's actually insane early game. If your leader is an Android, which Android 17 obviously is, your opponent doesn't draw cards when they awaken, which is insane. It effectively says your opponent discards 2 cards. If they awaken, they discard 2 cards, or they waste a kill spell that they could be using on your cell or a 4-drop android on it just to awaken. And then we have 4, for our cell package, we have 4 3-drop cells, 4 5-drop cells, and then 3 7-drop cells. So to start off, we have, I would assume most of you already know what these cards do, but we'll just read over them. So The first one is a 3-drop 15k, and you can place an Android 17 under it to evolve into this guy, who is a 5-drop 20k double striker. When you union into it, you don't get this when you cast it, you just get it when you union into it. You kill a battle card and then draw a card. And then 7-drop Cell, this card is absolutely insane. When you play it, which it does count when you union into it, oh yeah, and you union off of this by pitching an Android 18 and this one with a 17. So this one, it's a 7-drop 30k double striker with evolve for 6, but more often than not, late game you'll be playing it for the 7 if you haven't killed them already, and early game you're going to be unioning into it off of this. And you just get so much value off of this. You pitch a card onto this to play this, and it replaces itself with the draw card, and you get to kill a battle card, and then you pitch another card and go into this, which a lot of the time can make your opponent discard like 3 to 4 cards. So you just get so much value off of it. A lot of the times you can end up with like 4 to 5 cards difference in your hand with your opponents, which is absolutely insane. As in, you will end up having like 4 to 5 cards more than your opponent. But also, when you play this card, I don't remember if I said this, but your opponent has to discard down to 3 cards, which a lot of the times, if they're good players, they'll save their awakening, but there are a lot of players that will just awaken if they can into this card, which is absolutely insane because they'll waste 2 cards. Like, good players, if they know that you're playing this deck, they will, if you get them to the point where they can awaken, unless they absolutely have to, and they know you can do the Cell, they'll just wait, because you'll make them discard down to 3 cards. They'll awaken, they'll be up at 5 cards, they'll attack, they'll be back up at 6 cards. A lot of the time, that's probably what they'd be at before. But yeah, that's the Cell package there. Absolutely insane. And then for our next playset for the combo trunks, shouldn't have to explain that. 3 TN to awaken. You only play 3 of this card instead of 4, which a lot of Cell decks are playing, because of the fact that this card, or actually, you only really need to use it once, and a lot of the time your opponent can't pressure your leader that much if they don't want you to awaken, which is why you don't need this card as much in this deck as you would when you need to go down to like 4 life. Like, it's a lot easier for your opponent to block you at 5 life than it is for them to block you at 7, because just going at 5 life, they can just go attack you, draw, like, they awaken their leader, they go attack you, draw a card, attack you, draw a card, attack you, draw a card. But with this, they can only attack you once, and a lot of the time you won't attack with any of your dudes if you need your opponent to attack your leader, if you don't see a TN. But even late game, this card is absolutely insane. Like, let's say you just awaken and you're at 6 life, a lot of the time this card is 2 mana kill a dude, draw a card, which is absolutely insane. And has a 10k body, which is very, very good. Especially, like, a lot of the time, I've won many, many games late game just attacking with this card. Like, my opponent will get down to 1 life, and they'll just, like, they'll negate my leader attack, they'll negate an android attack, and then all I have left is this, and I'm able to win through it with a couple trunks and some of the cards, like sensu beans and stuff. Okay, so that's it for the green cards. Now we're going to get on to the blue cards. We have 4 Majin Buus, obviously, blue staple. I'm not going to have to explain many of these. 4 sensu beans, Majin Buu, 1 blue, draw a card when it comes into play. 4 sensu beans, 1 blue, untap 2, give it plus 5k. Shouldn't have to explain that. That card's absolutely insane. Probably the best blue card in the game. 4 Whis' Coercion. Shouldn't have to explain that card. It's a free negate. And then 3 Objections. This card it's a huge overperformer in this deck, just because your ideal curve is going turn 1 blue source into a Majin Buu, and then turn 2 Objection, and then not necessarily into a 1-drop, but you can do it into a Majin Buu. Turn 3, you want to go, this is implying that you've attacked with your lead every single turn. Turn 3, you want to go Android 17, TN, kill their dude, awaken, and then you are just so far ahead of your opponent, because your opponent is more than likely at the point that they can awaken, but they don't want to because of your Android 17, because they'll just be wasting their awaken. But at that point, you're just putting so much pressure on them that they feel like they have to awaken just to get the extra plus 5k. And they also get to draw a card every single turn, which, if you're not going to kill them, can help them race you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck tech on the Android 17 deck. If you're wondering, my sideboard is a pretty standard sideboard. It's just staples to bring in against decks. 3 Jacko for, I just realized I forgot to put these back in here. These are 2 Kales, they're in another deck. 3 Jacko, I wasn't planning on showing the sideboard, that's why these are still empty. But 3 Jacko for TNs and other matchups that are just super aggro that you need to play defensive against. 2 Kales for token decks and a few other decks that you just need to outvalue them by. A lot of the times you get a 4-drop 20k critical that can occasionally draw you a card just for like a Majin Buu to blow up their board. 2 Pilafs for, it's good against Vegito because it can get rid of Triple Strike on their 7-drop, or it can get rid of Triple Attack on the Secret Rare. It's good against a lot of decks. 3 Mafubas, this card's just insane. I'm running low on time here, so I'm going to have to go through this fast. 3 Android 16s, this card is insane, obviously, against token decks, and then 2 Father-Son Kamehameha for the mirror. So that's basically it for this deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe to my channel, and let me know what decks you'd like to see next. See you guys in the next video. Bye.